Briganti of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Tuesday and welcome back to Pagan Problems. This week we are talking about marriage, the blissful joys of marriage, and the heart-wrenching challenges. There's a reason why our entire species wrestles with the complexities of marriage and these kind of relationships, and why each generation has its own ideas and tries them out, and for better or worse, however they happen to turn out. There's a reason why no one really seems to have cracked the code and gotten it right, and gotten it to a point where people can replicate it, imitate it, and have things go smoothly. And of course, pagans are no exception to this process, whether we are married to someone who shares our same path, or to someone who has no particular spiritual convictions, or to someone who has opposing spiritual convictions. There are going to be ups and downs no matter what. It is natural and inevitable. Exceptionally compatible couples don't escape this either. So when we do encounter a bump in the road in our marriages, we shouldn't automatically assume that this is a sign that the relationship is on track to end, or that we have problems that are beyond fixing. Now, most pagan traditions and paths place a very high value on keeping one's word and upholding your oaths, even when it's difficult. It's a serious matter to break marriage vows, especially when those vows were given in the presence of the gods we worship. A divorce should not be a first resort for anybody. Now, that being said, marriage is more than just a legal status or a social recognition of a relationship. It is a sacred bond, and one that must be nurtured and maintained and worked on. Getting together required mutual consent and teamwork, and mutual consent and teamwork is required to make it last. No marriage is going to be static, and making it last isn't going to mean that nothing in the relationship ever changes, or that the people in the relationship don't change themselves. That isn't reality, and it would be absolutely brutal and unfair to attempt any such thing. Because as pagans, we are taught that all living things must be allowed room to grow in order to thrive, and that seasons of growth and rest must come on their own terms. It's an essential part of sustaining life, and the same principle applies to our marriages. Even when a couple has a great deal in common, they will still have different interests, and it's sensible to make allowances for that. So getting into the habit of only doing things that both of you like will lead to stagnation. But if you allow each other to explore separate interests, that helps keep the relationship fresh, and it keeps you curious about what your partner is learning and what they're up to. Other changes, of course, occur because, you have children, which is a project that requires a massive adjustment for both parties, or, you're moving into a different area, you're changing jobs, and of course, the changes that arrive as we grow older. Accepting that the relationship is going to have its ebb and flow through all of these changes will spare us a lot of hurt. Now, the balance of making space for each other is, of course, to make sure that both parties still make the effort to build on the things that they do genuinely have in common. And that requires to continue to build a good history, to reinforce the sense that you are a team. That is vital to nurturing the marriage. And whether a couple has children or not, they are the foundation of their household, the foundation of their family. In order for the household to work, which is especially important when children are involved, the marriage needs to be prioritized. Spending time together that isn't about doing the chores or taking care of necessary business in life, that helps keep a couple in sync. It's easy to get caught up in the never-ending to-do list that you just lose sight of each other. And yes, we all have to get things done, but we also need to show our marriage mate that we value them above all other people, and that being with them does matter to us. The energy we expended on them during the courtship and how focused we were in trying to win their hearts isn't something that should end after the wedding. If both parties create a world in which they revolve around each other and face the triumphs and trials of life as a team, they will be building a marriage that can last through the years and have a marriage that is worth having. So that was just my 2 cents and my thoughts on this. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think in the comments, or come see us on Discord at Blackbird's Brew. As always, there is a link to join in the description box below, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. See you in the next one. Bye.